Yo, guys. Red Marvel here, back again with a Doctor Strange in a Multiverse of Madness spoiler review. But remember, guys, if you're new to the channel, like, share, and subscribe to Red Marvel. Apologies, I'm not posting quite some time. I've been very, very busy. I've been on vacation away, all the rest of it. I've just got a lot of stuff going on right now in my life. But yeah, I'm trying to keep the channel semi going. So yeah, I have a Doctor Strange review and a Moon Knight review coming up soon. Um, but in the case of this is Doctor Strange, man, and this is a spoiler review. So if you haven't watched it, avoid it now. I'm giving the warning ahead. It's literally in the banner below. This is a spoiler review, so please, if you haven't watched the movie, please don't watch it. I've given you the warning. So okay, pause, end the video. Okay. So, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, man. I think first and foremost, I'm gonna put this out there. It's a good movie, but I don't think it lived up to the hype. And I think that you should go into this movie with tempered expectations. That's the best way I'd say it. Go into me with tempered expectations, because I think I watched the first trailer, and I think that the first trailer was quite misleading. I think thought I had an idea of how the movie was going to go, and it didn't go that way, and it kind of left me a bit disappointed. So that's what I would say going into this movie with tempered expectations. And like I said, in my opinion, I thought the first Doctor Strange movie was better than this one. I'm not gonna lie. I thought the first Doctor Strange movie was better than this one. This felt like almost. I wouldn't say it almost felt like the Iron Man 2 of Doctor Strange movies. That's what I feel like it felt like. That kind of movie, which is on the surface looks good, but when you think about it, it's just there to kind of try and explain other movies and set up other things, but the actual story itself leaves much to be desired. And speaking of the story, the gist of it basically is that you find that Doctor Strange is having these dreams. The opening scene shows Defender Strange, you saw in the trailers, with America Chavez. Well, I'll speak about America Chavez later. And they're running from this kind of demon that's pursuing her and her power. Then, long story on the short of that is that they can't defeat the demon. Defender Strange tries to take America Chavez's power for his own to protect it from this demon or whoever it is that seems to be pursuing America Chavez. And America Chavez's power is that she's able to basically just sort of punch or transverse through different dimensions. That's basically what she's able to do. But it seems she has no control over it, and it seems to only it seems to only manifest itself when she's stressed or when she's afraid. So she punches a hole, and obviously, surprise, surprise, she ends up in the main MCU. Meanwhile, Stephen Strange is having his own issues. He's dreaming it. He's waking up. He's like, well, what's going on? He goes to a wedding of Christine, who we find out was the love interest of Doctor Strange in the first movie. And obviously, he was vanished, disappeared during the 5-year Thanos snap. And so his love interest, Christine, obviously moved on. Doctor Strange clearly not happy about that, but lies and says that he is happy. He's good. Clearly he's not. Hashtag toxic masculinity, that type of thing. Then you find out that America Chavez obviously is in this realm. She's in the main MCU, and she's being pursued by another creature called Gigantos. Not Shumagorath. I thought it was Shumagorath, but it's like this Gigantos. I think it's a sort of projection of Shumagorath, because Shumagorath wouldn't have been beaten so easily by that. But they defeat Gigantos, and you find out quickly that the markings on Gigantos, that someone is wanting America Chavez. There's someone behind the scenes that's doing it, but it's not sorcery. It's witchcraft. And so you find out in the line that Doctor Strange goes to sort of see Wanda if he can help her out. Gives her the location of America Chavez, and you find out that it is actually Wanda who is behind everything. Wanda's been corrupted by the Darkhold, and for those of you, I'll make a pause here. I think that we're getting into a stage of the MCU where like you're now having to like watch and really see things, read things before you actually watch these movies, and that includes the TV series. So I think this is me personally, but I think if you haven't watched WandaVision, I think I think you have to watch WandaVision. I think because I think if you haven't watched WandaVision, you're going to be thinking, how has Wanda gotten so corrupted? How has Wanda gotten this corrupted? I mean, at the end of the last time you saw Wanda, is that she she basically just appeared in Endgame and was beating like back Thanos because he killed Vision basically, and she was pissed. That's literally it. So if you missed WandaVision, you won't see what she did in terms of how she has ensnared the village, the manifestation of her sons, and then obviously the end of it where you see her fully manifesting the Scarlet Witch form, and basically like reading the Darkhold, which is basically the Book of the Damned. And as I predicted, if you watch my WandaVision review, that she was going to get corrupted by it, and she was corrupted by it. Basically, Wanda essentially this is essentially feels like a Terminator movie at times, a Terminator horror movie at times, where Wanda basically wants America Chavez Pava to be able to go to a dimension where her children, her boys, because she dreams about them every night because of the multiverse, which obviously is now coming to existence because of Loki, Kang, etc. So, because she's dreaming about them, she feels like, oh, I can actually go there and be there. And so she wants to use America Chavez Pava to go or project herself or go to the universe where her boys do exist. And also, but strangely, as you find out later, she wants more than that. Anyway, so fast forward, Wanda. I mean, one of the things I like about this movie is that Wanda it just shows how ridiculously powerful Wanda is. Like full power Scarlet Witch with Darkhold magic, like just insane. It's insane how powerful Scarlet Witch is. Like, I knew she was powerful, but it was insane. It was like Wanda was unstoppable, absolutely unstoppable. And I think one of the things about that, and what's so maybe strange about it, is that I know Doctor Strange is in it. I know Carmitage, but I mean, come on, like, surely there had to be other Avengers. Surely I think that's the first thing that surprised me, is that with that level of power and that level of threat to Earth, to the world, for a kid, but also to the multiverse, you needed. I mean, she was literally. You can make an argument that she was more powerful, in the same level of power as Thanos with the Infinity Stones. You can make that argument, maybe slightly under. This is probably the second most powerful villain in the MCU that we've seen, possibly. Okay, if you don't include the Celestials, but anyway. So it's very surprising that you didn't at least see cameos from other Avengers to try and reason or contact or do something to stop Wanda that were around. I mean, okay, Thor's off-world. I don't know where Hulk is, but he could have been useful. Spider-Man's disappeared. Iron Man's dead. Captain America. So I guess you are thinking, who would actually have been available, man? Hawkeye can't really do anything, so yeah, okay, maybe there's no one powerful enough to be able to. I don't know, Hulk. But anyway, I digress. So inevitably, what happens is they're able to escape the sort of Sanctum Sanctorum by like basically going into another. Again, America Chavez Pava is activating, and they basically just go through and travel through multiple different dimensions until they find themselves in a different dimension, where in the middle act of this movie, that Strange is confronted with Mordo, obviously Mordo from the first movie, but it's actually an alternate version of Mordo, who tricks Strange, and you realize that in this reality or this dimension, Doctor Strange was corrupted by the Darkhold. He used the Darkhold to try and overcome their Thanos, but then the Avengers in that dimension, I wouldn't want to say turned on him, but we were like, oh, this guy's a threat because of him being corrupted by the Darkhold, so they killed him. Before I move on to this is one of the sort of the plot holes. There are quite a few plot holes, but this is for me is one of the major plot holes that for me stuck out in this movie, because in Endgame we are told several times that there was no other way for Doctor Strange to do what he did aside from giving the Time Stone to Thanos, because that's what he did. There was no other way, no other way whatsoever, no other way. Yet in this dimension, they defeated Thanos with the use of the Darkhold. At least that's what's implied anyway. They were able to defeat Thanos without the big snap or whatever it is that happened in the MCU. So it does. I mean, for me, I mean, maybe let me know in the comments. But it does kind of. I just kind of think, well, surely that would have been better than what Doctor Strange did. I don't know, but I thought it was a bit confusing because he said there was another way. There clearly was another way because this other dimension showed another way. So that was the thing. Whether you could say it's a plot hole or not, but I don't know. I thought it was a bit sketchy. Eventually, you find obviously Avengers of this universe, and it's revealed. You see, like Captain Carter, not the Captain Carter from What If, but she's there. Looks cool. Then you see sort of Captain Marvel in this universe, or Monica Rambeau. I'm assuming is it Captain Marvel or Spectrum? I don't know, but it's Monica Rambeau anyway. You know, so that was pretty cool to see. And also when she transformed, because she transformed into kind of the pure light and stuff. So that was cool. Then these reveals. Okay, so the Black Bolt, obviously. So that I think that I haven't watched Inhumans. Never cared to watch Inhumans, but you know, presumably Marvel haven't forgotten about the Inhumans, so he's there. And the two big reveals. As part of this Illuminati, which I'm assuming Black Panther was supposed to be on, but you know, there's issues around that, so I'm fairly sure they had to sort of rewrite things, unfortunately. But I'm assuming the original Illuminati, it would have been Black Panther, Reed, and then a few others. I assume Black Panther would have been in a place of Captain Marvel. That's what I would have thought, because in the comics, the Illuminati is America, Iron Man, Doctor Strange, Black Panther, Namor, Black Bolt, etc., and Reed. Speaking of Reed, Fantastic Four, man. Fantastic Four. So, in this alternate reality, he just revealed. He's just there. It's like, it's Reed. It's got four. It's a Fantastic Four. And it's weird because it's kind of like, it's like, yeah, Reed, Fantastic Four. But it's like, it's much like the reveal of like Patrick Stewart's Professor X in his typical green garb, and he comes out in the yellow wheelchair from the X-Men comics, and you hear the theme song. It's great. And you know, they obviously, the Illuminati convene to try and deal with this Doctor Strange, because in their mind they feel that Strange is the enemy of the multiverse, and they feel like they need to deal with this Strange as well as other Stranges. But this Strange is like, even if I am, you guys need to understand that Wanda is worse, and she's coming for this kid, and she's coming. She's coming with this alternate version of herself, and she's gonna wreck you guys. You need to just trust me. They don't typically. We'll handle your little witch, says one of the captains. Like, when you're like, oh no. You know, it's just this arrogance that I hate with heroes sometimes, where it's like, can we go back to an era of heroes where heroes are like sensible and like plan and think and don't underestimate their opponents and aren't just cocky, but actually. But anyway, this is going on too long. Wanda destroys this version of the Avengers. You know, I mean, I think at one point in she literally says this just really cold phrase to Reed, who is basically like, she's like, I understand, Wanda. I understand. You know, you have kids. This is Reed. It's like, you know, I get it. You know, I've got 2 kids myself. Franklin Richards. So let's relax. Let's relax about Franklin. And then she says something on the lines of like, yeah, that's good, because at least it means that there'll be someone to raise them. And you're like, whoa. And she kills Reed. And she kills Black Bolt. She literally takes Black Bolt's mouth away. And obviously he tries to speak, and he kills himself that way. Wrecks Captain Carter, decapitates her, and then Captain Marvel kind of puts up a somewhat of a fight, you know, with her energy blast to try and bring her down, but it ain't enough, and she just destroys them. So, and in Terminator fashion, she still tries to pursue Doctor Strange and America Chavez. She actually ends up, and they find this kind of book, the Book of the Vishanti, which is supposed to be the antithesis to the Book of the Darkholme. Unfortunately, she, you know, gets rid of that book. This book that's supposed to be so powerful and worded, it gets destroyed in an instant. But okay, fine. Anyway, she ends up basically capturing America Chavez and sending Christine in this alternative reality and Doctor Strange into a incursion-based reality. And one of the things that comes up is this idea of incursions. For those who don't know about incursions, Secret Wars, it's the idea of 2 planets colliding together and essentially destroying themselves unless you destroy one of the planets. It was a thing in Secret Wars, and it was the end of the multiverse as a result, because planets were just colliding into each other. In this movie, which seems to be a loose adaptation of House of M and Secret Wars, it just draws elements from both of those things. The incursions seem to be based on Doctor Strange's involvement with the Darkholme and his transverse into different dimensions. Seems to be what it seems to be bringing about these incursions. So then you find out that he goes to this universe, and you find this other Sinister Strange, who basically is also got the Darkholme, is corrupted by the Darkholme, because in his mind he wanted to find a reality where he could be with Christine. And in every single reality, they were the same. The doctors were saying they never were with Christine, they were just focused on themselves. And so this Sinister Strange saw Christine outside and was like, I'll give you the Darkholme, just give me, you know, Christine that's just sort of there. And obviously real MC Doctor Strange was like, nah. And then in one of the best battles of the movie, you just have literally this magical music fight where they use notes and stuff like that to each other, which is, it's crazy. It's very comic booky, but, you know, I guess it serves its purpose. They defeat Sinister Strange. Doctor Strange used the Darkholme to basically dream walk and project his mind into the dead corpse of Defender Strange in his reality. And then he uses that Defender Strange to essentially try and rescue America Chavez and take down Wanda, which is fair. And the film essentially ends when America Chavez actually transports Wanda to the universe with her kids, and she ends up, the kids end up seeing her strangling America Chavez, as well as hurting their mom. And Wanda comes to realization that, like, she sees her kids terrified of her, afraid of her, panicking, don't know what to do. She's like, I won't hurt you. I won't hurt you. I'm not a and it almost dawns on her. It's like, I'm not a monster. And she's like, so you are a monster, Wanda. You know, and that's the thing. Like, it's like, I'm a mother, not a monster. It's like, you're a monster now, Wanda. And it's almost like it dawns on her, like, all the sheer amount of bloodshed. Tamahaj, the 836 universe where she killed all those. The amount of Wanda kills a lot of people in this this film. A lot of people. You know, it's very difficult for me to see how she gets redeemed. I mean, I know she comes to the revelation that, like, she's a monster because of the fact that kids in this universe are afraid of her, and then the current version of Wanda's name says they'll be loved and they'll be looked after. But, you know, I don't know how you. I really don't know how you can, because eventually she destroys all the versions of the Darkhold in every reality of the multiverse, which is fair enough. Because she's a multiversal threat. This is why I got to put her on par with over. Apart, you got to put her. You got to put her on over Thanos. You got to put her over Thanos because Thanos, the Infinity Stones only work within a particular universe. So you can't take the Infinity Stones in one universe and they wouldn't work in another one. So it wouldn't work. Whereas Wanda's chaos magic affected all realities. You know, so yeah, for me, Scarlet Witch is a bunch. That's why it surprised me that they were the sheer lack of other Avengers or other people coming out to try and do something about Wanda, because she was essentially a multiversal threat. And I would argue still is a multiversal threat. When the Go Tower is destroyed, Wanda permanently collapsed on herself. Wanda's not dead. Let's keep it stacked. She's not dead. Elizabeth Olsen signed a 7-year deal, so she will be back. So I don't really know the ending with her. Oh, I'm gonna destroy everything. It's like, Doctor Strange. She needs to answer for her crimes. You know, you're leaving someone, a powerful witch there who needs to answer for her crimes. You know, that's just my thing. But anyway, the movie ends with America Chavez training, being back to the Sanctum Sanctorum, and you find out that Doctor Strange has actually been corrupted by the Darkhold because he's got a third eye. And in the post-credit scene, the relevant one, not the one at the very end, which you should go and see, by the way. I won't spoil that. But in the first credit scene, you get the introduction of Claire, who's Doctor Strange's love interest from the comics, who creates a entry point, I presume, into the dark dimension to help him basically sort out his mess up, which I'm assuming is the incursions. So I'm assuming they're going down the Secret Wars incursion route, not Secret Wars as in old school Secret Wars, but new Secret Wars, where Doctor Strange and Claire are now having to transverse the multiverse to deal with the incursion problem. That's basically the summary of the movie in 20 or so minutes. Fundamentally, my thoughts on this movie, as I conclude, are one, it would have been nice to have other Avengers to deal with what was ultimately a multiversal threat. Two, the cameos of, Professor X, Charles Xavier in the MCU, and Fantastic Four, great, nice to see, but that whole Illuminati segment, it almost didn't feel necessary. It really didn't feel like it really added to the overall. It just felt that it was there for the sake of being there. I don't think it really added to the plot or really drove the plot at all, really. I personally don't think it did. This felt like a comic book movie, in a good sense. But the fact that it could have been a bit more grounded at times, is what I'm saying. Wanda, like I said, I love Wanda. I love how OP she was and how she arguably is probably the best written character / villain in the MCU to date, I would say. And it was interesting to see her descent towards the situation. She lost her brother in Avengers Age of Ultron. She died. Then her love interest in Vision. Obviously the Civil War that happens, and then obviously Vision, they came together, and then he died. Although, yeah, Oh, wait a minute. See, that was another plot hole. Well, not a plot hole, but thing I was thinking about. Where was White Vision? White Vision has Vision's memories. And White Vision is somewhere. You would have thought. I'm just saying here. You would have thought. Speaking of events, you would have thought that Wanda is I know that they don't know that Vision is alive, but they could have done something to bring Vision in, or White Vision into this situation, so that they could maybe give Wanda a degree of closure. Because all it would have been the presence of White Vision and go, oh, okay, it's fine, honey, it's here. We can start a family. We can do something. We can go forward. We can sort of. That's literally all it would have taken. So I get it. I guess for the plot, it didn't. But just the fact that White Vision is around and made no cameo or no attempt to really engage in Wanda whatsoever, I don't know. I think it's strange because he does have. If I understand WandaVision correctly, he does have Vision's memories, and I think he has Vision's memories, which include Wanda, unless his memories are before just Age of Ultron and before he meets Wanda. I don't know, but I thought that was strange. White Vision should have been in this movie, but I think the main thing that's disappointing about is that I just felt that the initial trailer for me was quite misleading. I generally thought that, like, Doctor Strange, I thought Wanda was going to be, I thought we were going to resolve Wanda. I didn't expect Wanda to be the main villain, I'll say that, and then in that way, but I liked it. I did expect to see more. I did think that Doctor Strange or Sinister Strange or Alternative Sinister Strange was going to be more of a threat. The way I think I saw it was that they were going to resolve WandaVision situation, but they were going to team up to defeat this Sinister Strange, who was going to be a threat to the multiverse, basically. That's kind of what and this Sinister Strange was the Strange from What If, basically, who's more corrupted. That's what I thought this movie was going to go down. It didn't go that way, fair enough. But I just think there were a lot of missed opportunities in this film. Maybe you could make an argument it could have been longer, maybe, to expand on that. But 2 hours was fine. Overall, I still think it's worth a watch. But I think if you are a movie fan and you're the mindset that superhero fatigue, assuming superhero movies, more of the same, MCU humor, all the rest of it, this movie is not going to change your mind. It's really not going to change your mind. It's just, it will reinforce your idea that there is superhero movie fatigue. And to be honest, I'd advise you to just watch the Marvel. They have the TV series like Moon Knight, which I liked, or even check some DC stuff like the Batman, which is more character driven. That's my 2 cents. But overall, it's a good movie, not a great movie. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to Red Marvel. Follow us on Twitter at Red Marvel. Links in the description, and on Twitch. Have a nice day, everyone, and cheers.